All right, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another free-to-play Mystery Shard only video. Today we're going to do a dungeon. Yeah, we're going to be working on some potion keeps, and I think we're going to try to do these every single week for a little bit just to kind of get through them. And we're going to beat them live. Well, not live for you because you'll be watching it after I do it, but we'll be beating it as we go. Let's put it that way. So I just want to see how far we can get and how hard these dungeons are, and really get you guys up to the point where you can really beat them. Now, Arcane Keep is the easiest one out of all of them. It's the one that pretty much most people aren't going to have issues with. I would say that it's basically the dragon of potion keeps essentially. It's there's not much going on as far as mechanics. You really just need to have your heroes get stronger and you should be able to beat them no problem. We're going to find out exactly how hard it is because we haven't beaten them all yet. So, we've only beaten up to stage 15, and the reason we've only beaten up to stage 15 is because we have no more quests past 15 to beat the potion keeps. And we don't really level up a lot of legendaries. We don't really level up a lot of epics. So we have a ton of potions just kind of sitting in our vault. So we don't really need to ever farm these. That's the funny part. You get them from drops, you get them from clan boss, you get them from the arena, you get them from everywhere. So we don't really need them at this point, being that we're like almost 8 months in. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we're going to try and run these real quick. It's only up to stage 20. So we're going to basically do 5 stages today and see what they're about. And then at the end, we'll kind of look at some of the heroes that I used, just give you a basic overview of their power and where you're at. Because remember, we're 8 months in. This isn't, the first month. I'm sure you could beat these earlier than I am right now because they're easy. And I've beaten Doom Tower on all 3 rotations in normal. We've beaten, a lot of things that you should probably beat this before that. So we're going to go in real quick and just kind of see how these fights play out. We're not going to use the Dark Souls team that I had in here before. That's how long it's been. I did a video about Dark Souls heroes like a couple of months ago, or a month ago or so, and that's how long it's been since I've even touched a dungeon in here. So let's see. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to use the main teams that we always use. So we're going to use Kale, we're going to use Apothecary, we're going to use War Maiden, and from there, I think we're going to use Spirit Host because she's one of the heroes that she makes the fights go quicker. And then normally you could use Valerie here, but we're going to do it with Syl because we have her, and when I want to have that extra boost of resurrection just in case something goes wrong, I don't really want these fights to take forever. You could use Valerie. I'm assuming it'll work, but we're going to find out now. So we're going to see, and at the end maybe I'll run this through with Valerie on stage 20 just to see if it is doable. We'll find out. We'll know pretty much by the time we get to 20. I can't imagine this being that ridiculously hard. This team has beaten up to stage 23 on Dragon, so it's not like this is harder than Dragon. But basically, you're going to use the formula from our starting 5 videos, where essentially you're just going to have a turn meter booster, a nuker, an attack up, a defense down, and then whoever you want is your fifth. If it's Valerie, you can use her, or if your team is a little more defensive and they're not having issues, then I would say just go in and put another DPS in here. For me, I would probably pick Dark Alhain as an extra, or possibly Soulbond, just so you can get some turn meter reduction in there too. We'll see if that becomes an issue. Like I said, I've never done these fights, so you're learning as I'm learning right now. We're going to see if these fights are even remotely difficult, and if you guys need anything special to do it. Because if we start having issues, then more than likely someone like Armiger or Soulbond, like those heroes would really become heroes that are really good for this fight because you can keep the boss from actually taking turns. We'll see. So far, it seems like it's just a normal boss fight. We run pretty much, 16 through 18 with zero to little issue. So I can't imagine this fight being that hard. And like I said, I only brought Syl in because she keeps healing, so you don't have to worry about a lot of healing issues or someone getting killed on a one-off deal. Like maybe he just gets a lucky hit. Maybe not on 16, but we're talking like probably 19 or 20 maybe. I feel like this is just going to run exactly like Dragon. I don't feel like there's going to be any problems. If I'm wrong, I'll actually be shocked because this guy doesn't really have any major mechanical issues that you would have to worry about. It's just funny that I've never beaten these after 8 months because I just never farm potions. They're just not important. There we go. That's one. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. Maybe we'll even be lucky and get an ancient shard that we won't pull. I actually got a couple. I got one before from doing Spider, I think, actually. So I have gotten an ancient shard. I don't farm dungeons and potion keeps that much, so it ends up making it so that I don't have a lot of ancient shards that I'm getting. So if you're farming these things a lot more than I am for like legendary heroes and stuff, you'll probably have a lot more sacred shards than I have at this point. I mean, I have 307, so you could have anywhere from 350 to 400 at this point if you're actually, saving shards. Most people aren't doing what I'm doing, so there's that. But as you can see, it's literally, this is just the starting five, but advanced. You can bring in Diabolist in place of Apothecary, especially if you have Syl here, because Syl is the protector. But you don't need Syl. I'm just trying to make the fights go quicker, and then we can see how it works on 20. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit slower without Syl, but maybe we'll try it with Valerie and Diabolist just to see how that goes, depending on how hard the fights are. I don't think they're going to be that bad, but we'll check and see. And then if not, we'll also try it with like Dark Alhane or Soulbond just as like an extra DPS to see if it can speed up the fight or if they die. Because my Soulbond has HP restore, my Dark Alhane does not. So it could be one of those things where it's just easier to do that. But I also could replace Spirit Host with Valerie if you need a little more healing to keep your team alive. That is an option as well. I don't think there's any problem with that. It just might make the fight a little longer because your attack up won't be 50%. It'll be 25. I never thought I'd be doing a dungeon tutorial walkthrough of the Arcane Keep. It was never a problem. That's why. But who knows? Maybe somebody's got a problem. But at least you can see that the starting five, once again. Oh, there we go. Look, see? I told you. You might get a sacred shard. There we go. We all win. Everyone wins today. Well, I win, kind of. Well, I win for later if I ever start pulling ancient shards. That's what happens. So now we are on, what is that, 18? And then we got 3 left. We'll see how this goes. So far, it seems to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, which is how I like my videos. I like my videos easy. So Doom Tower Hard starts at 250 on the enemies. So that means that these guys are now starting to get closer to like that Doom Tower level of hero. At least Doom Tower Hard. Which means they are going to start doing more damage. So that's the only thing that could cause you having an issue, which is why Syl's also a really good choice for this because she has the stuns. Someone like Bellower could work here. Someone like, what's his name? Greybeard, who has freezes, could work here just to make sure the waves aren't really giving you trouble. But it looks like they're not really doing too much damage as of this point, and it looks like our team is doing enough damage where we can kind of wreck them pretty quickly, even though we're pushing level 200 to 250 enemies now. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be too difficult. I mean, at this point, just from watching this, I could imagine that you more than likely would be able to just pick a hero. If you're really farming this hard, like if you're just going to get a couple of potions, I wouldn't waste my time, but you could narrow this down to maybe 2 or 3 heroes where you could bring in a couple of food heroes. If you have really good heroes, you could do it with one. I'm assuming if you have a really good nuker that can heal themselves, you could probably run this by yourself. I mean, I'm almost guaranteeing you probably can. Maybe even someone like Drexstar, who can provoke everything and who can heal himself back up with lifesteal. Someone like that could be pretty useful here. Someone like Jizzo could be useful as a soloer, but it's going to take forever. So I don't know if I'd really want to do that. I think I think Drexstar has more of the ability because he can keep the HP burns going. So if you build him like insanely strong, yeah, you could probably use him as a farmer here and then have him just bring a bunch, maybe bring one other DPS just to make it quicker if you really want to. You shouldn't really be leveling up in here anyway, but just in case. All right, so we're going next and we're going to buy some energy because we don't have any. And that's what I do for you guys. I like to waste my gems for all of you. Surprisingly enough, I probably would have about 7,000 gems right now if I wasn't doing these videos because there's been numerous times that I spend a ton of gems just because I want to get a video out for you guys or something that somebody was looking to see. Like I know Diabolist was the last piece of my puzzle for the starting five video. So I spent an entire weekend and I spent 500 gems getting her built up to 60 so that I could do her video and the starting five video all in the same weekend. So yeah, I definitely spend my hard-earned gems for you guys. And then there's times where I just spend 800 gems on Grush's Masteries because I'm lazy and don't want to do it. Trying to speed my process up a little bit. But this is good. Like I want to start getting a little more progression here anyway, which is why we're doing these potion videos also, because I want to see if they're hard. I literally don't do them, so it'd be nice to have an idea as to how hard they are and which heroes will make them easier. I feel like Spirit and Magic will probably be the toughest ones that we're gonna have to actually have maybe one or two specific heroes so that we don't have to worry about dying. But we'll see. They could just be tank and spanks. I mean, I have plenty of heroes that do heal reduction for Spirit, and I have plenty of heroes that remove debuffs, so it shouldn't be too bad. I believe this one and Force Keep should be fairly easy. And so far, this one looks like it's really not doing anything special. They're not getting any weird attacks at high level. It looks like they're just getting their butt handed to them. That's what this is. This is Tank and Spank 101. Who doesn't like Tank and Spank 101? It's one of the best things you could do. I do like his aura. I really do wish they would do something where they would make like these guys as legendaries. Like I want this guy to become a hero that you can fight. I mean that you can use in your team. But that'd be awesome. They don't even have to be legendaries. They can make like epic and legendary versions or rare versions and then build them up. This guy would be the worst one. He's easy to kill. I don't even know who this guy's supposed to be. Is he supposed to be like King Arthur? He looks like he could be King Arthur. Or he could be King Arthur's servant. He's like, no, I watch over King Arthur and I get my butt handed to me every time. All right, next one. We're on stage 20. That's it. The final. This is the final one. So far, so good. Raise your hand if you think that we're going to die. I don't know. We're at 275 now, so these guys they're getting beefy. This is why I think Syl is good for 20. Because just in case these guys look like they might have some skills that could one-shot you if you're a little bit weaker. So having someone who revives would be probably a good idea. Because remember, we're way past these dungeons at this point. Like, if I don't beat these, I would be upset with myself, to be honest, because these are like, this is the stuff you're supposed to beat in order to beat the stuff that we've already beat. That's a lot of beating. That stun is so good. This is why I love Syl. I mean, I said it in the Syl video. She's an all rounder that just is literally one of the best heroes you can get, and is the best probably free to play hero that you can get. I actually would probably say she is the most helpful one for all content, and now you see why. She just makes waves just melt because of all the stuns, which is actually why we beat stage 20 on most dungeons. Because the waves start killing you, man. That's Fire Knight stage 15. The not 15, 18. The waves just start killing you. It's crazy. You're like, oh wait, now we're dying. This isn't fun. All right, so these guys don't seem to be too difficult. Little tanky, but nothing special at this point. So a little bit more attack in here would probably be useful. It doesn't seem like we're getting too damaged, but then again, we also have the shield every round, and it doesn't look like they have enough time to really do much damage once the shield is gone. So yeah, like that's not bad at all. Syl could probably heal up all that damage every round, so you could conceivably just bring another nuker in here instead of apothecary, and then probably just speed the time up. Like, I'm curious if Sill's good enough to just be the healer, which I would assume she is at this point. It looks like she is. This doesn't seem to be too difficult, all in all. Smite. You could also bring someone like Archmage Helmet in here. He could work as an extra because he increases crit damage also and crit rate. So it's always good to have those things. And there you go, stage 20 in the books. We can't go any further. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do? Let's edit some team. So there we go. We finally beat every single stage. And more than likely, you did this about 6 months ago. All right, so 2 minutes and 47 seconds on this. So now let's try it once with the starting five. Let's see if they're good enough to do it. I'm going to assume they are, but we're going to try it anyway just to see. So there we go. Starting five. Let's run it and see how this goes. This should be a longer fight. And if these guys can win, then I don't really need to do a video. I don't need to show stats and stuff. Then honestly, I don't think I need to show stats at all here because if you want to see the stats of these heroes, there are separate videos on each and every single one of the heroes in this team right now and Syl, so you can literally see what their stats are and my builds on all of them. And there's also the starting five video, which shows you how to kind of tune this team to make sure that they work correctly. And that's it. I mean, it's not. This isn't really rocket science. This is literally the easiest dungeon in the game outside of Dragon, and actually Dragon's harder. So, and we kind of blew through Dragon. Now the only thing that could screw us up here is if Kale or anyone just dies from an ad. That's the only way this could mess us up. Luckily, we have two people that have shields to block the damage of the waves for the first hits, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And now we have block debuffs for a little bit. All right, so I could see this team having an issue here. See, she's dead. So I could see this team having an issue and possibly having a loss here and there. But honestly, I don't think they would ever lose. I think what would happen is Kale and Valerie would just finish the fight because those are the two that can heal themselves back up. Actually, and Spirit Host. I don't think any one of those would die. I think War Maiden would die. Yep, War Maiden will die here. But the other three are so beefy and tanky and can heal themselves back up that unless Kale dies, I don't see a problem here. So I guess having either Apothecary or I wouldn't even say Apothecary is the one you need for this fight. I would say replace somebody with a stunner, someone who can AoE stun just for the waves. But this is what I was telling you about waves, is that waves are your problem now. So if we didn't have the waves, this fight would be a joke. Luckily, this guy doesn't heal. So this tactic definitely wouldn't work on the Spirit Keep at all. But yeah, these three are basically unstoppable because they can just keep healing and shielding. That's right. Get rid of those stupid buffs. Debuffs. Sorry, debuffs. We're talking about debuffs here, not buffs. We're talking about debuffs, not buffs. That's a fake rap. I'm gonna start doing Raid Shadow Legends raps. I'm actually not gonna do that, but just know that it was a thought. Now it's just two people dual attacking. We're getting dual attack ups, and then Kale's just gonna be the one to kill it. I was actually considering just pausing it and ending the fight because we obviously are gonna win, but I was like, you know what? You came here for a video, so we're gonna do a video. All right, you're gonna see exactly what happens when you bring heroes in here that are rares. This is good though because it actually shows you how like certain team compositions just don't work. Obviously, these three heroes work. It's also because War Maiden is highly not defensive. She is very undefensive. If you build her correctly with a ton of defense, then that would probably be an issue. You could also put her in lifesteal if you want. That is an option, which I haven't done yet, which I probably might consider, to be honest. All right, so there you go. You can win with this team, even though Bonehead 1 and Bonehead 2 died. So you can do it with 3 heroes. All right, so there you go. It's winnable. Now, let's just see. Take her out. All right, so what did we say? We took her out. So we had Syl. Trying to think. Who would help this fight? We had Apothecary in here, but we don't need him. So I'm thinking let's try him real quick. No, let's just try a regular DPS. Let's do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna see how that goes. I want to just see how quickly this goes with another DPS, as opposed to having Apothecary in here. Because now I think they could probably take these waves down a little quicker. Yeah, we've already got one dead, so that's good. I want to see if we can get you a better team if you're a little bit further along that can kind of farm this a little easier. Because two 2 minutes, 3 minutes for me isn't a lot. Like I have dungeon fights that take 8 to 10 minutes, so it's like whatever. 3 minutes is nothing for me. I just put it on auto and go to bed. But if you're really trying to farm potions, like and not because I'm not, if you're really trying to do that, then it would be good to have a team that farms this in a reasonable time. Because you don't think 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not to me. But like, yeah, if you're farming it 100 times, now you're talking about 300 minutes, which do the math is a lot of hours. So if you can get that down to 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes, then that saves you 100 minutes. So you can save yourself almost an hour and a half of time by tweaking your time on this fight. So I think Soulbon might be a better option here, just because she can do. I don't know. It's tough because the waves can. I think Elhane's better with waves, even though we do have an AOE. I mean, an AOE hit on our A1 for Soulbon. Yeah, so they're moving. They're moving a lot quicker. Not a lot quicker, but quicker. Let's see. So now they're actually focused on the boss. We really want to get this somewhere in the 2 minute range. I think, what did we do? 2 minutes and 40 seconds before? I think was the old time. Yeah, this might not be much shorter, to be honest. So I guess we want somebody who can do damage and speed. So maybe what's his name would be better for this Archmage helmet, because he does increase crit damage and stuff, and he does the speed up also, so we'll get more turns. Or Soulbon, like I said, because she actually reduces turn meter. Looks like this was 20 seconds shorter. Yes, that was the best time. So yeah, you could probably switch in anyone you want. If you have Syl, at least, you could probably switch anyone you want in for this team and really run 20 at a decent time. I mean, we're doing it with not really crazy heroes, and it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's not terrible. For me, that's not terrible. I don't see it being bad, but yeah, you can 100% make this quicker. Just get some more damage in there. And if you can get a single target damage dealer that can really do some damage in here, I feel like that would really help out in speeding up that time also. All right, so there you go. Ooh, there you go. Arcane Keep is in the books. We beat stage 20. We'll be doing one of these every single week, and we'll see how it goes. Force Keep, I'm going to do them live on air, like I said, because I want to make sure that I want to do them as I like. Literally, I want to learn the fight as I do it on the stream, so people can kind of see what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. This isn't just a tutorial, so to speak, on how to beat them. It's just this is how I'm beating them, and this is me getting through it. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to say hi, or you want to, have a dance party, you want to get on the back of a pickup truck and put a keg up there, whatever it is you want to do, it's your life. You live your life the way you live it. All right. So hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you can beat Arcane Keep, and that you beat it way earlier than I did. 8 months is ridiculous. I'm just saying. This is the Arcane Keep. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd. You guys, take care.